Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to another Real Madrid preview. This is the preview to Real Madrid against Elche at the Bernabeu. Literally, it's not even a must-win. It's literally I don't even know what to say. Like we have to win. Like, look, if Real Madrid fail to win tonight against Elche, I don't care what we did against Man City. I don't care what we're gonna do next week against Man City. The season is literally over. And as much as I do believe the La Liga season is pretty much over, because I don't think we will close the 4 point gap to Barcelona, at least make it somewhat of a fight, a challenge, because if you're dropping points to Elche at home, you're not winning the title. I'm sorry. And this is the nitty gritty time in terms of winning and having the momentum, right? It's not just about La Liga and the title. We might not win the title after all, and I don't think we will, but it's about picking up momentum and form towards the last 10 to 15 games of the season. And we are still in the Champions League. We are very likely to go through to the quarterfinals. But even with that being said, we still have to do our job in La Liga. We cannot just lose every game from now on. So I'm looking at such games. I'm looking at basically every game left as we have to win, right? And this is gonna be literally one of, if not the easiest games we have in La Liga and in general for the rest of the season. When you look at the fixtures, Elche at home, then we have got Manchester City away, then next weekend we have got Atletico Madrid at home, then after that we've got Mallorca away, Girona at home. That is another game where it's like you should be winning that by a good amount. Alaves at home, again another game that we should be winning. Real Betis and Espanyol away, two tough away games, but we should be winning those games. And then the 10th of May, maybe the 11th of May actually, it is El Clasico at the Camp Nou. And then afterwards, it's Real Oviedo at home. Arguably, it's the only fixture on paper that's easier than this game against Elche. And then it's Sevilla away. And then to end the season off, it's Athletic Club at home. We always play Athletic Club on the final day, apparently. But that is the fixtures remaining, at least in La Liga. Elche at home, we should be winning this 4-5-0. I'm sorry. We should be winning this 4-5-0. I think if you don't win by at least 3 goals, I think it's a really poor performance and results. Elche are 17th. They are literally battling with Mallorca for relegation. They're scraping it right now. They could well go down. It could be Mallorca. We'll play them later on as well. But it's a team that obviously will want to put up a good showing. But it's not like as if it's away from home. Now, earlier this season, when we did go away to Elche, we dropped points there. It was 2-2, I believe. I think, was it Bellingham and Dean Huijsen who scored for us? But it was one of the beginning of the downfall of Xabi Alonso. And we have to make it right this time, because we are at the Bernabeu. The fans will be loud. The atmosphere will be good after what we have just seen against Manchester City, and the fans will be there. It's down to the players. Now, spoiler alert, I do believe personally this isn't something that I would do in terms of the starting 11, but it is rumors and it is belief. There is no concrete evidence to suggest that, but I do believe there will be rotations, which is why you look at the 11, it looks a little bit weirder than usual. Again, it's predicted. Anything can be wrong or right. So just take it with a pinch of salt. But like I said, this is a game where we have to win, because if we don't win this game, I just don't know how we get the confidence going to Man City. Now, we do have a big 3-0 lead. It will take a massive downfall, touch wood, massive downfall on our part, and a massive heroic performance from the Man City players to establish a comeback like a 3-0 or 4-0 win. But you cannot be losing to Elche after putting that sort of performance against Man City. You just cannot. And I don't care if we're playing the A team, the B team, the C team. Whoever's out there playing should still be better than Elche, with all due respect, to win. So if, for example, you look at this team, I still expect this team to win comfortably. Even with players like Lunin, Fran Garcia, Raul Asensio, you know, Camavinga, for example, these are still really good players. They should still be winning 2-3-4-0. So I want to see that. And hopefully, we can keep a clean sheet as well. I don't really talk about that too often, usually. But we have not been keeping too many clean sheets lately. I know we did keep one against Man City, but we have conceded in basically every game since Valencia in La Liga and since the Benfica away game a couple of weeks ago. But we haven't been keeping many clean sheets since. We lost Osasuna 2-1. We conceded one against Benfica at home. We conceded one against Getafe at home. And we conceded one against Celta Vigo away. And also, by the way, when you look at the Getafe game at home, that was a disgrace. To lose at home to Bordelas is a disgrace. We cannot see that. This cannot be a repeat of that. And many other home performances that have been shocking, but we cannot have a repeat of that again. Every game now, I keep saying this, we need to kick on, but we never do. And ultimately, we could, as fans, get that sort of vibe again, in terms of we come back after the game against Elche, and we drop points, and we are just frustrated and angry again. But I really hope that at least from now until Athletic Club, or maybe beyond, who knows, we can just have a good last 10 to 15 games. And I said this a month and a half ago, we need to go on a good run. We didn't. And there is no evidence to suggest that we will go on a good run. But I really keep hoping that we do, because it's so crucial. How you go, game by game. Like, these are the kind of games that you win, you get the momentum, you get the form, you get the boost, and it kicks you on. And if you can beat Man City or draw at the Etihad, then you have more momentum going forward. We play Atletico Madrid next weekend. It's a big game in the Madrid derby, because they are a team that we have not performed really well lately in recent years. And then afterwards, I think you got the international break, and then a couple more games to come as well. So it's the kind of momentum shift and the momentum boost that you need going into the last 15 games. And if you could choose a fixture, maybe you wouldn't choose Elche, maybe you would choose one of the bottom three, but Elche at home is still a relatively good fixture, like I said, with all due respect. So nothing to be compromised. I'm not giving anything in terms of expectations or what we want to see. It should be a win. It should be a comfortable win. It should be a win by 2 or 3 goals at least, and I hope it should be a clean sheet as well. Is that a lot to ask? With the current standards, fans would go, yeah, that's very unreasonable. But why is it unreasonable? Because we have dropped our standards for this team. Because we've looked at this team and gone, this team is capable of dropping points to Elche and Getafe and Osasuna. So we are going to allow them to get a narrow 1-0 win or 2-1 win. No. The standards is going to remain the same. If they cannot hit it, they don't deserve to be playing for this club. Simple as that. This is a football club that 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, winning trophies, winning every game, most games at least. And when, the Zidane era, or before that or after that, when we play teams that are, lower down in the league, winning 3, 4, 5 or more is not, something that was crazy. It was not something that happened only once in the blue moon. It happened more often than you would expect. So why are we dropping our expectations? This is still a really good team, a really good squad, and it's way better than Elche's team. So why is it they cannot go out there and perform? And even with a rotated team, okay, most of these players are going to be a little bit more fresh. They're going to be less tired than the starters. So I don't see an excuse for these players to not go out there and perform. Literally, we are literally only playing La Liga and Champions League. We are out of the cups. We are, not involved too much in competition. So there is no excuse. This team has to win 3-4-0 at least, in my opinion. But let's talk about Elche, because like I said, they're 17th and they are away form. So let's look at the last 5 away games. I'm not going to talk about their home form because it doesn't apply. But their last away game was their last game in La Liga actually. They went away to Villarreal and they lost 2-1. Good win for Villarreal. They went away to Athletic Club and they lost 2-1 as well. They went away to Real Sociedad back in February. They lost 3-1. They went away to Levante and they lost 3-2. And they went away to Real Betis in the Copa del Rey and they lost. But they went away to Valencia in January in the league and they lost. They drew 1-1. So in La Liga, 4 losses and 1 draw in the last 5 away games. We know they are a good side at home, but away from home, they are shocking. Really, I'm not even trying to, downplay their capabilities or abilities, but they have won 5 games all season. That's as many as Levante in 19th, and only Real Oviedo in bottom have won less games. So 5 games, 5 out of 27 games. That's 1/5, pretty much 1/5 of the games, pretty much. So I am not expecting. I'm not going to lower my expectations, and I'm not going to say I would take a 1-0, I would take a 2-1, because this is a side that are struggling. Why shouldn't we beating them 4-5-0? Why shouldn't that be happening? And when you start to realize why should Real Madrid, or why can't Real Madrid win 3-4-5-0? It's not because of the quality, it's because the standards have dropped. It's because the players are more content with a narrow win and they don't want to go for it. And one of the things I'm very happy about the Man City game was when we went 1-0 up, we kept pushing. And Fede Valverde specifically, but we kept pushing. When we went 2-0 up, we still kept pushing to get the 3rd goal. And we could have scored the 4th, but we were relentless going forward. We didn't just sit back, defend, protect the lead. We were trying to push as hard as we can to try to keep scoring. And that is the kind of mentality and mindset that these players should have. That's what I'm expecting from these players. So, yeah. But, let's quickly, to wrap up with Elche, they do have a couple of decent players, not gonna lie. They have got Rafa Mea, ex-Sevilla. They've got Inaki Peña. That man literally played the best game of his life in the reverse fixture. When we went to Elche back in, November, he played out of his skin. They've got Andre Silva, also ex-Sevilla, funnily enough. We have got Alvaro Rodriguez, obviously ex-Real Madrid talent. They've got some good players. Hector Ford as well. Another ex-Barca player in there. They've got some good players, but you can tell why they're struggling. There's probably only 2 or 3 players that genuinely you would think, are the real standouts. And I would say that's Inaki Peña, Rafa Mea, and maybe Alvaro Rodriguez, and maybe Hector Ford, but that's questionable, right? But they are a team that are, if they stay up, great, happy for them, but it's not going to be because they are the best of, the rest, right? It's going to be because they are, just about fortunate to stay up, because I look at how close it is between them and the likes of Mallorca and even Alaves slightly above. It's going to be one of those where whoever goes down ultimately is a little bit unfortunate, but it's just one of those that you have to, you have to choose one, right? And one team will have to go down. But look, they will have the chance to come to the Bernabeu and to give it their 110% to, run their socks off and to try and get a statement result. Not even a win. I think even a draw would be a huge statement. To pick up 2 points in 2 games this season against Real Madrid is a huge statement. So yeah, but I cannot accept that as a fan. We cannot accept that. But let's be a little bit more positive and hopefully, we'll deliver. But starting 11, I have got Lunin in goal. Now, this is nowadays, right? Nowadays, my starting 11 is not really what I would do, but sort of what I expect will be the 11. So, I would go Courtois, but actually, you know what? I probably wouldn't because I think it's a good decision to give him the game, Lunin, that is, and to rest Courtois. Although I don't think he needs resting, but it would be nice to see Lunin, get some involvement and start a game for the first time in ages. Fran Garcia is literally the only left back that is available. Currently, Mendy picked up the injury, so I don't think he'll be back until at least the next international break after that. And Carreras is still out, so Fran Garcia has to start. Dean Huijsen and Raul Sancho, I would go with the centre back partnership. Alaba is still out, Militao is still out, and I think I would just rest Rudiger because I think Rudiger is more prone to fatigue and injuries than the other two here. And I've said this many times. When we play both Huijsen and Raul Sancho, it can be chaotic and problematic at times. But it is Elche, like I said. So I am not going to, start Rudiger because we have to. We don't have to start Rudiger. Asensio and Huijsen are still good enough in such games. It is obviously the big games that you question whether they are good enough and they are, calm and composed enough as a partnership. But in such a game, I'm not expecting them to do anything silly. They shouldn't be. Carvajal, I think, starts. I think you let Trent rest. But I think if Trent starts, there's a good chance Carvajal starts against Man City and vice versa. So ultimately, it's about who you prefer to start in the Man City game. Now, we could go Carvajal, be a bit more pragmatic, try to defend the lead, and get the experience. I think that would happen. But, like I said, it's a really, 50-50 decision. It's a coin toss. So, one or the other, pick a choice. I'm happy with either of them playing. Aurelien Tchouameni, this is an interesting one because there have been some rumors about his personal life and whether he would feature. Now, I'm not going to get too much into it, but rumors are suggesting, and I think he has debunked these rumors anyways, but rumors are suggesting that his girl basically cheated on him. And I don't want to bring that into football, right? And there were people saying that Arbeloa is going to, not play him because of that. Now, first of all, that is the most ludicrous decision I think I've ever heard someone make up. Like, literally, football and personal life does conflict. There's an interesting conflict. Of course, if for example, your family member passed away, yeah. But I'm not saying that being cheated on by a partner isn't significant, but I'm just saying that to believe that that is the reason he will not be playing is stupid in my opinion, and I don't think he will play. But it's not because of that. I think he will be rested. I think he will be benched because I think, again, that Man City game is still a game that we need to have our strong players. And not just our best players, but players who cannot be replaced have to be fit for the Man City games. And who are these players? Courtois, Tchouameni, Mbappe. I think there are only 3 players, and Fede Valverde. 4 players, I say, that I haven't even put in my 11, that I think will be rested. Obviously, Mbappe is not back yet anyways, but the other 3 I think will be rested. Because they are so crucial to how this team plays that we need them. And you could argue Rudiger, you could argue Trent, you could argue a couple more players, but specifically, the likes of Tchouameni, there is no other holding midfielder at the club that can do what he does. Not even Camavinga. There is no other midfielder that can do what Fede Valverde does. There's no other keeper that can do what Courtois does. Lunin is a good keeper, but Courtois is another level. Let's admit that. So, that's why I have rested a couple of these players in terms of my predictions. I think either Goulet will play. Now the midfield, Bellingham is still out, Ceballos is still out. In terms of the midfield, and look, that we could see there is always a chance that Manuel Angel could play, but I just think going with him and Thiago Pitash in the midfield seems a little bit, yeah, it just doesn't seem right with me. And who else do you even have in the midfield? I mean, you're gonna rest Valverde, you're gonna rest Chouameni, you don't have Bellingham, you don't have Ceballos. The midfield is um, really light in terms of the manpower. So I would still start Goulet. And in the attack, I would start Gonzalo Garcia up front. I think this is the kind of game he would like to play. The proper number 9, get a bit physical in the box. Hopefully you can put a couple of crosses in, which could be the reason why Trent starts, but I don't want to suggest he starts purely because of that. And I would start Brahim Diaz and I would start Vinny Jr. Now, I do believe that there's a good chance Mastantuono starts this game and Brahim or Vinny gets rested. It could happen, but I feel like Vinny and Brahim are just machines in terms of they can play. They can play a couple of games in a row, and I think if they can play, yeah, go ahead, because I thought Brahim was incredible against Man City, and Vinny is still the guy we rely on in terms of the chance creations and everything that goes through him. He is still the main man without Mbappe, so I would still start him. Now, to wrap up quickly, because F1 is starting and I'm gonna go and watch the qualifying, I am gonna say Real Madrid 4, Elche 0, and this is gonna be very arrogant, confident, too confident, but I just think it's the kind of game we have to put our stamp on it. We have to just say, screw it. If there's ever going to be a game where we show everyone who we are, it's these kind of games. And if we don't, yeah. But let me know what thoughts are down below. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Hit the like button, subscribe, the chat's on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.